Right. Hello, Zoomers. Getting everything lined up. Okay. All right. And thanks, everyone, for being here in person and on Zoom. All right. So, today we're going to begin our practice with the seated form, 1,000 Hands Buddha. Qigong is what it's called. And so, called 1,000 Hands Buddha because we move through several different mudras. And, the translation of the word mudra, it means gesture. So we're making these different gestures. It also means a seal or a lock. So we're this gesture kind of creates this pattern, essentially, for the chi, for the energy to move in our bodies, and then that helps us to attune to a kind of frequency. And all of these different mudras that we're moving through definitely have a relationship to the heart meridian, which externally begins in the armpit and then runs down the inside of the arm out into the palm. And so, so as we're doing these mudras, we're opening and activating the heart meridian. And sometimes as we're holding a mudra for a certain amount of time, you may feel maybe a little bit of it, whether it's tension or just feeling something in the area, because as we kind of activate the meridian, we're charging it up with chi. Things are starting to move, and then it might run into areas where there might be some blockage. And so the invitation is to just feel what you're feeling, breathe into the sensation, and just kind of see if you can relax into it and allow things to move. And then we can just see what happens, see how it feels as we go through that. And the different mudras, they have themes or concepts or ideas that go along with them. So I could say a little bit about those as we move through. And then once we finish that, then we'll stand up and we'll do some standing moving Qigong. All right? Great. So let's begin. The first mudra is called Diamond Mudra. And so it's the left hand resting in the right hand. And if you rest one palm on top of the other and it just doesn't feel right, you can put the other palm on top as well. That's okay. And so hands resting, thumbs touching. And this mudra has different names. Sometimes it's referred to as the cosmic mudra. In this form, we refer to it as the diamond mudra. And diamonds are very stable. And so in this posture, just beginning with stability, and just feeling the stability of your posture, and allowing that stability to establish the space for your breath. And with this mudra, each finger of each hand represents a kind of a complementary pair of qualities of being or of mind. And I'll let you know what they are. And one of the things to consider as we list them is that they do help to support each other. But when they're out of balance, they can also inhibit each other. And so just, if you're ever sitting in this mudra some other time, and you need something to do other than focusing on your breath, you can consider these different qualities. And so the thumbs, one thumb represents stability, the other thumb represents intelligence. Because when we're feeling very unstable, it can be hard to think clearly or skillfully, intelligently. And the other side of the coin is that if we're maybe too stable to the point of being rigid, that can also inhibit our ability to think skillfully and intelligently and be appropriately responsive to what's present. The index fingers, one finger represents practice, and the other represents progress. The middle finger, one represents tolerance, and the other represents happiness. And tolerance is how my teacher originally translated it, and as I've sat with this form over the years, sometimes tolerance works for me, and sometimes I find it seems to resonate or make more sense when I think of tolerance as my capacity, like a capacity and happiness, and just that balance of, if I go beyond my capacity for something, does that impact my ability to be content or happy? Or if I'm not leaning into my edge and developing my capacity to be able to tolerate or hold more, is that also something that can impact my ability to be content or happy? One ring finger represents self-discipline, and the other ring finger represents freedom. And one pinky is wisdom, and the other pinky is generosity. And so again, with each of these, like this last one, like there is wisdom sometimes comes from being generous. Sometimes we're being generous in a way that isn't so wise, that maybe leads to a feeling of compromising ourselves, or too much self-sacrifice, like what's sometimes referred to as pathological altruism. And so every so often, just taking the time to consider these things or others that fit in, helping us to get clear, to get stable, like a diamond. Stability and intelligence. Practice and progress. Capacity and happiness. Self-discipline and freedom. Wisdom and generosity. The next mudra, establishing the aura, and we'll do it a couple times. It's a nice stretch after sitting here still for a few moments. So we can take an inhalation And then exhale, the hands can float down and you can reach out in front, and then inhale, the hands up overhead. And exhale, open wide. Let the hands return to Diamond Mudra, but inhale the hands up to the heart. Exhale down, out in front, and then stretch as you inhale, reaching up. And exhaling, opening wide, establishing the aura. We're clearing out your aura, your field. One more time, we'll inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale as you reach out and up. And then exhale. Like establishing your aura or clearing out your electromagnetic energy field. Let your hands come to rest palm up on your thighs. And just breathe and feel into the space that you occupy that extends beyond your physical body. We have several different fields that we create that extend beyond our bodies, and there is one that is about the width or the radius of our arms as we just stretched out. So feeling into that. And recognizing that field, it can definitely be impacted by what's going on outside of us. And it can also be impacted or tuned by what's going on inside of us. So feeling the stability and the alignment of the body. Allowing the breath to move into and through the body. Feeling the stability of the earth beneath you and the boundlessness of the sky all around you. And allowing that to help balance and harmonize this field that we are and that we are a part of. And if as you're sitting here, if you're feeling like buzziness inside of yourself or around yourself, and it's just, angsty or whatever it is, you can always come to Diamond Mudra. Take a breath in and exhale down and out, and inhale up, stretch, and then just clear. Establish your aura. The next mudra, I will mirror you. It's traditionally called assurance and protection. So you can bring your right hand across to your left shoulder and your left hand across to your right shoulder. And then the left hand, the hand out front, drops down as the hand close to you comes up to about the level of the third eye, and the lower hand sweeps up close to you as the outer hand drops down. The left palm will turn to face forward, and the right palm will circle in and come to rest, palm up on the thigh. And you can just relax here, find a comfortable posture. Traditionally, this mudra, assurance and protection. Recently, I've come to know it as strong back and soft front, which lines up with assurance and protection. I think it's the same idea with different words. Having this strong back, this ability to show up, to be present, even when things are hard, even when it's a truth or a reality that we may not want to face. We can have the strong back, or we could cultivate a strong back, an ability to be there, but not armored and shielded and guarded, not a strong or a hard front, but a back, support. The front is soft, so we can be receptive, we can have open hearts, we can be kind and compassionate. Even when we're showing up to something that we may not agree with. There are many, many statues of many different types of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Taras and whoever they are in this posture. Inviting us and encouraging us and reminding us to show up with a strong back, show up with integrity, with a stable foundation, and with a soft front, without preconceived ideas of how it should be and what's right and what's wrong. But beginning here. And we can change sides. So the left hand comes across to the right shoulder, and the right hand comes up to the left shoulder. And then the outer right hand drops as the inner left hand rises, and the lower hand comes up close to the body. And the right hand represents the strong back, and the left hand represents the soft front. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with the charnel ground practices. Charnel grounds, like where the dead bodies are laying. And some might say life is often a charnel ground, or different times of life, different periods of life. And charnel grounds can also be thought of as just the places where suffering is happening, where things are hard. So there's a lot of opportunities for charnel ground practice currently. So can we show up with a strong back? Are we willing to even just be there? And not with resistance, not with a hard front, but with a soft front. Just opening to the reality of what is, so that we can see clearly. And then if there's action to be taken, we can take it from a place that's skillful, that's seeing things clearly and looking deeply. even considering what's the difference of standing against something or standing for something. Moving on to the next mudra, it starts the same way as this one. So the right hand comes to the left shoulder. The left hand comes to the right shoulder, and then the outer hand drops as the inner hand rises. And we switch. The lower hand comes up to front. The right hand comes to rest on the thigh as the left palm faces forward. So this next mudra, overcoming the suffering, or maybe taking a break from the suffering, might be a more appropriate name. Because, yeah, charnel ground practice is good, and it's also difficult. Sometimes managing our capacity is important. So we can inhale the right hand up. And as we exhale, the right hand comes to rest, palm down. The left palm can turn inwards if you are holding a soft gaze. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can. And just allow the awareness to move inwards. So, taking a break from the charnel ground practice, dropping inwards, connecting deeply to that ground of being. Whether we call it our original nature or our essence or something else. Feeling the shape of the mudra and breathing in to sensation. Then we'll change sides, so the left hand comes to the right shoulder, right hand to the left shoulder, outer hand drops to the lower dantian, other hand rises to the third eye, and then we circulate. Lower hand comes up, left hand circles in to rest on the thigh, right palm faces out. And on the inhale, left palm comes up. Exhale, left palm down, right palm turns in, moving inwards. Connecting to source, to essence, to the limitless supply of nourishment. Drawing energy up from the earth, drawing energy down from the sky, allowing yourself to be resourced. Moving to the next mudra, sitting on the lotus. So hands can come down. We can cross at our wrists. Take a breath here. And then exhale down and out as we did before. And then inhale, stretching up. And then exhale, open. And this time the palms face towards the ground. You can press down towards the earth, reaching the shoulder blades down the back of your body, slight tuck to the chin, lengthening the back of the neck, and this downward reach through the hands helps to create a rebound of energy up into the chest, so feeling as the shoulders and the arms reach down and maybe slightly out to the sides, the collarbones spread, the center of the chest opens, and we can breathe into the heart. Allowing the blood to flow back down into our hands and arms after holding them up for a while. And this gesture always makes me think of Thich Nhat Hanh's famous quote, "No mud, no lotus." Moving down to bloom open and up. In all of that mud, in those charnel grounds, is the stuff, the fertilizer, that helps our hearts to open and to grow. Next mudra, inhale, the hands up in front, shoulder level. And then exhale, the palms open and forward. You don't have to press too far out, but just opening. The name of this mudra, facing the truth. You can spread through your fingers, especially your pinky and your ring finger opening so you can feel the center of the palm open. The center of the palm is an extension of the heart, an extension of the fourth chakra. Not looking away from what's true, from what's happening. Strong back and soft front. Next mudra, bringing the thumbs and the index fingers together, and then the thumbs and index fingers of both hands together. Let your hands come back to the center of your heart. The elbows are gently spreading wide. Back of the neck is long, like reaching up and slightly back through the back of the head. If you want to soften your gaze again, you can, returning awareness to the innate, noble heart, the name of this mudra. So again, if we're doing the charnel ground practice, if we're facing the truth, it's helpful to return to essence, return to that part of ourselves that was never born and will never die, and is never less than whole. Next mudra, Buddha's teaching. I'll mirror you, so the right hand is up top, the left hand is underneath, and like you're pulling a thread of silk, separate the fingers, so lower hand comes to the lower dantian and the upper hand comes to the third eye. And then switch, so the lower hand rises up as the upper hand drops down. And then we'll circulate, so the upper hand circles out and the lower hand follows it. Up and out, and our left hand will come to rest on the back of the right hand. We'll take the left index fingers and thumbs, touching the right pinky, representing purity, and the other side representing truth. The left palm is facing up, so it will now float up first. And then switch sides. And the upper hand begins the circle, the lower hand follows, and the right hand rests on the back of the left. Purity, truth. Return to the innate noble heart. Next mudra, unburdening the heart. I'll mirror you. So with our right hand will come up and down, and then on the inhale, like you're scooping things off of the heart, inhale up, and then exhale off to the side, like you've just scooped a lot of luggage or all the burdens up off of your heart and letting them go, placing them down to the side. It requires a lot of energy to carry heavy weight. It takes much less energy to place the weights down. And after we've set our luggage to the side, a peaceful life can arrive. So we inhale, the hand sweeps across the front. And then exhale, right palm on top of the right thigh. And we'll do the other side, so returning to the innate noble heart. And we'll take the left hand, let it float down, and then as we inhale, we'll scoop up, scooping the luggage off the heart, exhaling, placing it to the side. And with each breath, with each exhalation, just letting whatever it is just flow out. That arm and the hand flow out the heart meridian, just letting it go. Hearts function best when there's room to beat, room in the sense of oxygen in the blood, space in the blood. And then a peaceful life arrives. Inhale, arm sweeps across the front. And exhale. then returning to Diamond Mudra. And on the inhale, breathe in stability. And exhale intelligence. Breathe in practice. Exhale progress. Breathe in capacity. Exhale happiness. Breathing in self-discipline. Exhale freedom. Breathing in wisdom. Exhale generosity. And when you're ready, you can bring your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe tilting the head down towards the hands, towards the heart. Gathering your attention. And rubbing your palms together. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, shake it out. And then just taking a moment, rubbing the palms together, warming them up, and then rubbing our faces up and down a couple times. And from here, you can go over the scalp a couple times if you'd like. Down the back of the neck and around, pressing the palms together, and then the thumbs press against the sternum, coming down to the lower ribs, onto the belly, around the waist to the lower back, drawing the hands out, shake them out. Good. And then feel free if you want to extend your legs out, and you can kind of pat down the sides of your legs, and maybe the tops or the insides of the legs, maybe even the back. Our feet back up. Right. Any questions about that form? Good. All right.
About
purity and truth?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the name of that mudra is Buddha's teaching. And so, purity and truth. That's the teaching. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and that was, just over 40 minutes we just did that for. So, if anyone ever has a hard time with sitting meditation, that was just 40 minutes of sitting meditation, so great job. All right, so now let's do some standing movement practice. So feel free to stand, and what we're going to do can be done while seated. So if you'd rather sit, you can also do that too. And so we have done this, I think, just once before. It's called the 7 Qigong Power Tools, as what it has been dubbed by one of my teachers. And it's movements from forms that I think we've done before. So we're just kind of putting them together in a little sequence. And with most Qigong, a complete Qigong practice, it involves a little bit of mind focus or meditation. It involves a little bit of movement. It involves a little bit of breath work. It involves a little bit of self-massage. Like, those are the 4 aspects of Qigong practice. And so this practice has all of those. And, you're welcome to do this sequence as we're presenting it here. And you're also welcome to, if there's other movements from other forms that you think of or that you remember that you like that aren't included here, make up your own 7 Qigong power tools, or your 4 or 5 power tools, or 9 power tools, whatever your favorite number is. That is allowed, that is encouraged. So, before we get into it, because we were sitting for a little bit, let's just kind of loosen ourselves up. So let's take a nice inhale and roll the shoulders up, make fists, and on the exhale, the shoulders move down and back. 2 more like that. 1 more. And then maybe bouncing, shaking a little, just loosening it up if you need to kick out your legs. If your feet are still slightly asleep from sitting, that's fine. Wiggle. However much or little that you need to, and then as you're ready, you can just find yourself in a comfortable standing posture. And so the first power tool is the 3 treasures, aligning the 3 treasures. We sometimes call them the 3 intentful corrections. And so, first intentful correction is your alignment, is your posture. So take a moment, feel your body. I like to begin with my feet on the ground. I lift my toes off the ground, find the hard parts of the bottom of my foot, my heel, my outside edge and pinky toe mound, my big toe mound. I have to typically adjust the bend in my knees so that I can feel rooted into those 3 points of contact evenly. And like we do, tuning into the pelvis, breathing into the rib cage, reaching through the back and the top of the head to get long and wide through the shoulders. And so the first correction is the alignment, the body. Second intentful correction is the breath, breathing deep into the body. And the third intentful correction is the mind, bringing the focus of the mind to the alignment of the body and to the movement of the breath. And also, even if the focus of the mind isn't on the breath and the body, just make note, what is the focus of your mind on? Notice that. So this first power tool, the 3 intentful corrections, you can do it standing, sitting, lying down, walking, whenever. And from here, we'll move into the second power tool, the very accessible, easy movement of flowing motion. So when you inhale, we'll start. Just turn your palms forward, let your weight shift into the balls of your feet. And as you exhale, turn your palms back. Let the weight shift more into your heels. Your toes can lift, but the balls of the feet stay on the ground. And then inhale, palms forward. Weight comes forward into the balls of the feet and the toes. Exhaling, hands move back. Weight shifts into the heels, the hips shift back. Toes lift, but the balls of the feet stay on the ground. Stay balanced. Inhale. Your hands can come forward and up a little higher. Exhale, the knees bend slightly, the hips hinge back, hands move past center, toes lift. And again, inhale. Exhaling, spine is nice and tall. It's like you're closing a door with your hips as you move back, hands move back, toes lift, stretch, and then inhale. Exhale. Harmonizing the breath and the movement. Like we're creating a wave and we're just riding the wave. As you inhale, if you want to bend the knees a little deeper to get a little more work, you can. You can lift off your heels as you come up. And then exhale. You can hinge the hips a little further back if you want. Not locking the knees, but the legs get a little straighter, and then you can just flow. Flow in your way, at your pace. And there are ways to play with this. You can inhale and you can imagine like you're pushing against something. You can get that isometric muscle engagement. As you exhale, it's like you're pressing something down, engaging, pressing through the elbows, getting the lats and the backside engaged. And you can do the opposite. You can inhale and feel the chi under your arms just lifting you up so that it's effortless. And just floating through the plasma of the universe. Like try different things. You can make the movement just very easy and gentle so that it's more about just lubricating the shoulders and the hips and lower back. You can bend a little deeper so you're almost getting a squat. And make it a little more muscular, a little more of a stretch. In China, they say that if you do this movement 1,000 times every day, it's the recipe for longevity. And you'll see people sometimes walking down the street doing this movement. And so if you want to walk, the next time the hands float up, step your right foot forward, or whichever foot forward, and then step it back. And then the other foot comes forward as the hands rise up. And then as the hands move back, you can step back. So there's a little bit of balance and coordination that's happening here. You get a nice little lunge type of stretch. And the hands don't have to come up too high, they can come up to shoulder level if you want. So that you can focus more on what's going on with the lower body and not be thrown off balance. But take your time. See if you can harmonize the movement and the breath. And just so it's not too easy, as the arms float forward, step back. And then exhaling, step forward. Same thing, other side. Inhale, step back. And exhale. Couple more, like this. Taking your time. And then let's just return to the basic movement. And adjust the width of your feet as needed. You can go wider, you can go narrower. Breathing deeply. Feeling the whole body as you move. Feet engaged. 3 points of contact on the ground. As the hands move back, the toes can lift. As the hands come forward, the weight can shift more into the toes. One more full cycle, inhaling forward. And exhaling back. And then just inhale, the hands can come up. And exhale down. And just take a few moments to just stand and breathe. Just feel the effects of that. Like, that's a deceptively simple movement. Doesn't really seem like much at all, but just noticing how I'm feeling right now. I definitely feel like my arms and shoulders and my hips and thighs have gotten some work. I feel warm in my body. I can feel my heart beating. So we're getting the blood pumping through our bodies. Making sure that blood is infused with lots of good oxygen, good qi, nutrients from deep inside the body circulating out into the extremities. Next Qigong power tool is the lymph pump. So we'll inhale, the hands come up front of the body. When they get about head high, turn the palms up and look up. And then on the exhale, the arms come around and you can make fists with your hands. Press your fists together and your chin comes towards your chest. Exhale out. And then inhale, roll yourself up. Stretch, palms up, look up, holding the inhale. And then exhale, like you're wringing yourself out. So squeeze, fists, feet, face, core, and then inhale. Stretch it out, fill it up. Exhale, wring it out. Squeeze, a little contraction. I like to think of myself as a sponge with this movement, inhaling like a sponge, just absorbing all the qi, and then exhaling, wringing myself out like a sponge, just flushing out every cell in the body. And just like this, inhaling. And exhaling, moving at your pace, wringing yourself out just as tight or intensely as you want to. It doesn't have to be too much. Find what's comfortable, find what works, what's sustainable, and do that. There are several of you who've heard me say this many times before, but the lymphatic system is so important. And a lot of our big lymph glands, they're around the base of our skull and behind our ears. They're in our armpits. They're in our groins. They're behind our knees. So with this movement, you can see we're kind of stretching all those places open and then squeezing, flushing them out. The lymph system it's like the sewer system in the body. It's where the waste products end up. You know, the dead cells, the things that have run their course, and even other things that the body is trying to keep out of primary circulation. We don't want it flowing through our arteries or hanging out too much in vital organs. So we send it into the lymph. And that's also where most of our immune system lives. Most of our white blood cells hang out in our lymph system. And lymphatic congestion is a major cause of autoimmune conditions and chronic inflammation and feelings of just not necessarily being sick, but not feeling well, fatigue, cloudy thinking. And the lymph, unlike the circulatory system that has the heart as a pump, the lymph system doesn't have a pump. And what they found is that the more stressed out we are, the less efficient the lymph system operates. So what do? We do this. We stretch and breathe deeply. We exhale and wring out those places where congestion tends to happen. And so not only are we pumping the lymph system, but we're also helping to calm down, to be less stressed, to relax, which will have a beneficial impact on our immune systems and our nervous systems, on everything. It's a power tool. Let's do 3 more full cycles. One more. On the next inhale, just roll yourself up. The hands can float up. And then exhale. And breathe. Feel, notice. And then return to that first power tool, the 3 intentful corrections. So maybe lifting your toes off the ground, find your 3 points of contact, soften your knees. Breathe deep into the body, feel the bowl of the pelvis. Feel the bottom ribs, especially the back sides of the ribs, expand and open with the breath, 360 degrees. The diaphragm muscle, it's like an umbrella opening as we inhale in all directions. Lifting through the back top of your head so that the chin slightly tucks and the neck lengthens and the collarbones spread as the shoulders drop. Just in these moments of stillness, receiving and integrating the benefits of these practices. The fourth Qigong power tool, tracing the meridians. So your hands can come up the front of your body, going over the face and the head, down the back of the neck, around the base of the neck, and then under the collarbones, under the armpits, down the back side of the body. The hips hinge back, and the arms flow down the back of the legs as low as is comfortable. Bend your knees as much as you'd like. Hands come over the feet and then up the front of the legs, over the belly, over the heart and the chest. The hands cross, and you can bring the hands out the arms and then turn your palms to face you, and then up and over the head, around the base of the neck, under the collarbones, down the backside of the body. Take your time. Feel what this feels like. Find a way of doing it that feels good. Touch your body in a way that is nourishing, that is comforting. Turning the palms to face you, and again, up the front, over the face and head, down the back of the neck. Take your time around your neck. And then under the collarbones, under the armpits, down the backside of the body, down the legs, over the tops of the feet and up the front, over the belly and heart. Hands cross, and we go out each arm. And then turning the palms again. Taking your time. Over and around. Under and down. Up the front. Over the belly and the heart. Hands cross. And out. Again. The yang meridians come from the sky down the backside of the body to the earth. The yin meridians rise up from the earth into the belly and into the chest and out the arms back to the sky. So just opening up these pathways so that we can be conduits of energy, helping to connect the earth to the sky and the sky to the earth, helping yin and yang to blend, to harmonize, to manifest as qi. Let's do one more full cycle. Over and around, under and down. Up the front to the belly and the heart, and then out. Big breath in. Exhale. And breathing. Breathing down from the sky through your body to the earth. Breathing up from the earth through your body to the sky. That parallel breath. And just allowing the movement of breath energy to help move away obstructions, to clear away obfuscations. The fifth Qigong power tool, energizing the organs so we can place our hands over our lower ribs. And if you'd like, you can kind of make small circles, apply a little gentle pressure, or just holding the hands still, maybe a subtle vibration in the hands. But the idea here is we're energizing the organs, we're visualizing and thinking about the organs. So our hands, our right hand is over our liver and our gallbladder. Our left hand is over our spleen, stomach, and pancreas. And so just massaging those organs, visualizing those organs, sending qi to those organs. What does it mean to send qi? Like send appreciation, send acknowledgement. Breathe into those organs. Allow the lymph and the blood to circulate through those organs. Allow them to be nourished and cleansed and purified. And then one hand, whichever hand, can come over the belly, and the other hand can come over the chest. And so our upper hand is over our heart and our lungs. Our lower hand is over our intestines. If you go low enough, you get some of the urinary bladder, some of the internal reproductive organs. And again, visualize those different organs. Visualize your heart and your lungs and your large and your small intestines, your urinary bladder, your internal reproductive organs. Breathe into those organs, acknowledging them, thanking them for doing what they do. If you'd like, you can switch which hand is on top and which hand is underneath. Energizing and acknowledging these viscera that keep you alive. And then you can bring both hands around your waist, over the area of the lower ribs and the lower back, the area of the kidneys and the adrenal glands, these deepest, very essential organs in the body. The kidneys not only regulate fluids in the body, but they regulate our blood pressure. They regulate our hormones and our endocrine system. They do a lot without ever having to be asked. So massaging the kidneys, massaging the lower back, the lumbar spine, that idea of the strong back, soft front. And then as you're ready, you can bring your hands back around the waist and then let them settle over the lower dantian. Letting your awareness settle underneath your hands, deep in your belly. Like all of our thoughts and feelings, like rivers running into the ocean. The lower dantian is the ocean. The point underneath our hands is called Qi Hai, the sea of Qi. No matter how many rivers flow into the ocean, it's never over full. Then you can bring your hands around the waist and down. Maybe just for a moment, kind of reviewing those organs that we've energized, the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the stomach, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, large and small intestines, urinary bladder, internal reproductive organs, kidneys and adrenal glands. Breathing into all of them. Also breathing in to the spine and the spinal cord and the brain and the eyes. So much to be thankful for, so much to nourish and be nourished by. Just taking the time to actually do it. Like, how often do we do it? The sixth Qigong power tool is some breath work. We'll begin with a gathering breath. So just inhale like you're gathering up. And then exhale. Let's do a couple like that. Inhale, gather. Exhale. Like you're washing your body with the breath, with qi. So let's gather the breath and then a sigh of relief on the exhale. Three more. Just feeling the effects of that. And remembering that you can do any one of these by themselves as a power tool. And that gathering breath and a sigh of relief, that's medicine. And for our seventh Qigong power tool, we'll do marrow washing. So your hands can come to the sides of your hips. We'll inhale. On the exhale, send the hips back. Bend the knees just as much as you'd like. Weight is in the heels. And as you inhale, lifting, pressing through the heels, lifting through the arms, gathering. And then exhale like you're washing your marrow, your brain, your spinal cords, the marrow deep in your bones. And then inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reset. Exhale, hips back, toes lift, knees spread apart. Press through the heels, hips rise, arms lift as you inhale. And then exhale, washing your marrow, where you're storing qi deep in your body. And just moving like this. Take your time. Let the movement be a meditation. Move at your pace. So you can wash your marrow, you can clear stuff out. You can gather things if you'd like you're digging into the earth and you're gathering from the earth, from the biofields, from the boundless sky, and drawing it in. Whatever it is you want, whatever it is you need. lately I've been finding it helpful whenever I'm wishing things were a certain way, then it's, well, what am I doing to be that? Like, I wish there was more peace, love, and understanding in the world. And so how am I peace, love, and understanding? That then becomes my responsibility. Like, I wish there wasn't all this conflict that was going on. I wish people would just treat people with dignity, with respect. So how can I be more respectful? How can I treat everyone with dignity? And how can I cultivate that? Or how can I cultivate the things that give rise to peace, love, and understanding? How can I cultivate what's necessary to be respectful and kind, even to people who I find difficult, because they deserve respect and dignity as well, no exceptions. Because if that's what I want, that's what I want to see more of, that's what I need to be. So then I see more of it. So what would you like to create? What is the world that you want to have stored in your marrow, radiating out from you? Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Wherever you are, let's do 2 more full rounds. Inhaling and exhaling. Letting the hands float down. And then the arms can just rest by the sides of the body. Attuning to the 3 treasures. So these forms, 1,000 Hands Buddha and the 7 Qigong power tools, are known as medical Qigong. They are medicine. They are treatments that we can give ourselves. Whether we like it or not, whether we choose to be or not, we are all here in this world, which seems more and more like a charnel ground practice. And so it's about managing our capacity to stay with what's going on, recognizing when we need to take a break, step away, go inward, practice some of these medicines, cultivate the situations that give rise to peace and understanding and calm and stability, so that we can then return to our practice of being in the world. And if our capacity doesn't seem very high right now, that's fine. Be where you are, but continue with your practice. Continue to offer yourself these treatments so that you don't have to turn away or numb out, so that you can then be what it is that you would like to see more of in the world. And then others will begin to see more of what you want to see in the world because you're being it. That's something we can do. So these practices are simple and they're accessible. And you can do all of them. You can do one or a couple of them whenever you want. The 3 intentful corrections can be done anytime, regardless of what is going on. Some of the other movements, maybe you need to take a moment. But they can be done regularly for free. And you will access the medicine that they provide. Because we need healthy people in mind and body. So if you'd like to bring your hands together in the universal symbol of gratitude, thank you for taking the time to practice, to cultivate these medicines, to share them. And may this practice that we do together ripple out and have benefit all around the world for everyone, no exceptions. All right. We can rub our palms together. And gently massaging our faces. And over the scalp a couple times. Down the back of the neck and around, under the collarbones and down. Up the front and out. And then let's pat. Integrating what we've done, letting ourselves know that we're completing this time of practice, and getting ready to get back to our regularly scheduled lives. All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, this class has been recorded, so if you'd like a copy, let me know, and I can send you an email copy of that. And otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week. We will have class next week, and then in 2 weeks, I'll be out of town, so we won't have class in 2 weeks. But we will have class next week. At least that's the plan, right? Yeah, so again, thank you so much, and please, take your medicine, or make your medicine, and then take it. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Ole,
Yes.
you know, the first time I saw you do the 7 Qigong power tools, on the 6th, you recommended directing the medicine to any perceived weak spot in your body. And I've had lower back issues since I was in elementary school. Never had surgery. That's another story. But I found directing that to my lower back has been very helpful without surgery, without drugs, without anything. And I just wanted to make that statement to the class that by directing it.
Yes, thank
And
you.
that was a wonderful piece of advice. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's where, that I guess it's the fifth power tool when we're kind of energizing the organs.
The fifth
Like
one, right.
that's also, we can energize the organs, and then yeah, definitely you can expand that to like direct the chi or the medicine anywhere, lower back, knee, if there's an organ, if there's a place in the body where it feels like it needs it, you can
Yes.
definitely kind of expand it to include that, because when we're doing tracing the meridians, the fourth power tool, that's like a general distribution of the medicine, whole body, and then we can get a little more specific to it. So we kind of did organs today, but it can be anywhere for sure.
Dynamite. Good advice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for being here. And we'll see y'all next time.